Jessie SaLee, the sales manager at Lake Lawn Resort that has the pleasure of working with family reunions.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Grabbert, and I'm the assistant front office manager at Lake Lawn Resort. And I have the pleasure of working with all of the guests from the beginning of their stay when they make their reservations to when they check out at the end.
Tell me about the different room types to accommodate families of all sizes.
So, this property actually has many different room types. It's probably the most different room types we've had in the places that I've worked before. So we have our standard rooms, we have loft rooms, we have some suites, and we also have loft suites. And all of those can accommodate different sizes, different types of travelers. In our standard rooms, you can sleep from 2 to 4 people. We have our standard rooms with 1 king bed and our standard rooms with 2 queen bed. So those are pretty good for our business travelers if they're just coming for the week, or solo travelers or couples if they're looking to kind of stick to a budget or something, like if they're not looking to spend too much time in the room and want to enjoy the resort more, because it is a smaller room. It has the standard bed. All of our rooms have a coffee maker, mini fridge, and microwave, so it does have that. But then if you go to our lofts, that has a little more space that can usually sleep up to 4 to 6 people, in our 4 in our king lofts, and we have queen lofts as well that could sleep up to 6. And those are pretty good for if you have family and young children and you want to stay close to each other, because there's not a separate bedroom in the lofts. So you have that upstairs area where the kids can have their 2 twin beds. They have their own TV they can enjoy and kind of play, but you can still see them because it's in a loft. So they're not behind closed doors getting into mischief that you're not going to know about. So that's always fun, and families who want to stay close together and enjoy the whole weekend together, but gives you more space too. We also have suites. Those are where the separate bedroom comes into play. So those are good for when you have, like, if you're looking for privacy, and if you have a baby, that's always good too. I know you're a new mother, so that would be good. You can tuck the baby away in the bedroom and enjoy yourself in the living room still and keep going.
Yeah, it's a great option too, because you have that living space and kitchenette. So if anyone wants to come over and play cards or have coffee in the morning or something like that, you have a little bit more space to spread out.
Definitely.
I see some smaller families use the suites and loft suites as kind of hospitality space.
Nice.
I also see families using our rental homes as kind of the same thing. You know, it's a larger space, getting together to play games or make breakfast. What are the bedding arrangements in the homes?
So we have a few different homes. We have 2 Harbor Club homes that are in our rental program, and we have the Lake House. The homes have from 3 to 4 bedrooms, and they're just really good because they're large, they're private, you're in your whole own house. So if you have large families or bachelorette weekends, big friend groups, or things like that, you can all be in one location together and not have to go up and down the hallways to find each other. It's more private, so you're welcome to enjoy yourself in the home and not have to worry about disturbing other guests. And some of the cool things about the lake house is it does have its own private pier, and with that pier you can bring a boat and you can load your boat up on the pier, and you get a boat slip for the night with our marina as well. So you can park your boat at the marina, not at the pier at the lake house, but you can load up and everything. It's just safer to keep it at our marina. And you have your own private fire pit as well, a grill. So it's just kind of a nice there's a beautiful sitting room with some screen doors too, so you get that kind of homey feel, indoor, outdoor, but private. And a home away from home.
I think that's the best word to describe it, private.
Yeah.
You have a lot of space to spread out. And like you said, you don't have to worry about being too loud because you're not sharing walls with other rooms.
Yes.
But the homes are close to different buildings of guest rooms. The lake house is near the lodge rooms.
Yes.
So if you're going to need both, you have that option to keep your family close together still. Mm-hmm. The Harbor Club homes are close to our Lakewood building. So either home that you stay at or whatever room accommodations you need, it's never too far.
Right,
Just
right.
a short walk away.
Yes, the lodges are definitely close to the lake house. I would say, too, for groups that are renting the lake house and getting rooms in our lodges, there are no king rooms close to the lake house, just for a little friendly tip. If that's what you're looking to be close by, I would not reserve
Yeah.
a standard lodge king. Those are all kind of close by each other in a different building, but we always do our best to accommodate as well if you have requests and you let us know in advance too that you have a party in the lake house or a group in the lake house. We can make notes in your reservation so that we make sure to get you as close there as possible as we can.
A question I get from families a lot is, how can we stay close together? So you made a good point about how the rooms in the lodge, maybe some buildings have kings, some buildings only have double queens. The Lakewood building is a great smaller building of guest rooms.
Yes.
How can the reservations team help families stay close together in Lakewood?
So our reservations team is a really great resource for making reservations, obviously. If you give the resort line a direct call, you'll first hear our operator, and they will direct you if you let them know that you want to make room reservations. They direct you to the right place on property, and then you would get our on-property reservationists who are on property, which is nice, so they can see the rooms, they know the room types, they know the layout of the building, both lodges and Lakewood. So it helps too. And if you had any special requests, if you need an accessible room, if you want a lake view, those type of things, the reservations team can help direct you into what type of room to book that you'll be able to get those types of things. And they can also help with the rooms in Lakewood. We have, just like in the lodges, we have our standard rooms, we have suites, we have some loft suites. But luckily with Lakewood, it's our only detached building, but it's not very far. And it's nice because it keeps it more private. So if you do have a large family that's booking 15, 20 rooms, and they're all different types, that Lakewood building is a way you can keep them close together. And then you also have an outdoor pool in Lakewood, so that's always a bonus too. If you're all staying in that building, that pool can kind of become yours. It's obviously not something you can reserve privately, the pool just to yourself. It is a public building, but when you're taking up most of the rooms with your group, you get that little pool area to yourself. And then we also have our indoor pool in the lodges, as well as an outdoor pool in the lodges for families that stay there.
Yeah, I think the Lakewood building is really great for families who want to stay close together. Even if you're in rooms on opposite ends of the building, it's a 30-second walk. There's only 48 rooms in that building, so it's really much easier to accommodate the request to keep families close together.
Yes.
And like you said, that pool being right there is so nice. There are 2 pools near the lodge rooms, and that's generally where we see families who are staying in the lodges congregate, and so that Lakewood pool is usually a little bit quieter, which is nice too if you have kids. Small kids, you don't have to worry about them.
Right, running into all the other kids or anything, making sure you can keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Be right from your balcony, you can see the pool for some of the rooms as well. So it's really just a lovely place. It does have 2 stories as well, and there is no elevator in that building. So that is one thing to keep in mind if that's something that you need, but there are only 2 floors, so you wouldn't have too much of a hike to get to the room.
Are there any accessible rooms on that first floor?
There are. We do have some. I believe one of the Lakewood King rooms is accessible, but those are always good questions for our reservations team. They know what room types we have that are accessible, when they're available, and all of that good stuff. So they're the best people to ask for specific features, locations, all of that. We always do our best to accommodate all requests, and we note them all in the reservations. We can't always guarantee locations, but we like to know the requests so that we can do our best to make sure it's the best day possible for the guest. About when one person is organizing the event, how does that work, and how does that work for when there's different types of families and they don't necessarily know what types of rooms they're going to want with the sizes?
So, first of all, we do offer a discounted rate for families with 10 or more rooms per night. So, if you have a larger family, definitely looking into that discount is going to be a really good option to save everybody some money. When we set up a room block, we take rooms out of our general availability. We hold them just for your family. So, as people are calling into the reservations team, we know we have this many of each room type available. Usually, the room blocks have more than one room type.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you know, there's some couples coming, we need some double or single king rooms.
Mm-hmm.
There's some larger families coming and they need some lofted rooms because they're going to need to sleep 4 or 6 people. We can include all of those in our room block. And then once you get that set up, your whole family can call in, make their own reservations. Like you said, speak to our reservations team on what's going to be the best room type for them so that that one organizer is not managing all the reservations.
Mm-hmm.
They can focus more on maybe scheduling a meal or activities for the family. But that way it's kind of off their plate, and Lake Lawn can assist with making the best reservations available.
And that's what the reservationists are there for. They love helping with all that too. They definitely can make the reservations within the blocks. And when you make a reservation within a group block too, one thing about group blocks a lot of people don't know is a block of rooms is not necessarily a specific block in a specific location of the hotel. It's more of a number of rooms that they're getting, they're holding for their group. But that doesn't mean when we assign the rooms, we don't take that into consideration. Typically, when the front desk agents are assigning rooms and we see a block is arriving, we do our best to keep everybody as close together as we can. Since the main lodge does have, I believe, up to 7 different hallways, and that's about 6 wings of rooms. They can definitely book rooms that may be physically spread out because of the type they are, but that doesn't mean we won't do our best to put them in the closer ends to each other. And regardless of where you end up being put, even if you are in building our first building, which is the timber building, and your friend is in the Norwood building, which is the other end, it is connected. So if it's wintertime or raining in the summer, not as ideal weather, you can still get to your friends through the hallways. Don't have to go outside if you don't want. But we do also have some beautiful courtyards and lake paths that you can walk that get you from even our Norwood building to the detached Lakewood building, from conference centers to rooms. So there's really a whole lot around the resort. And the blocks, we do our best to keep everyone close, and our reservationists definitely can help with preferences. They can look at other people's reservations. We can't give away personal details, but we can recommend what to book to be closer to the people you're looking for as well.
And every family is different. I do work with a lot of families that they all want to be close together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do my best to suggest what room types might be close together. Like you said, the king rooms won't necessarily be by the double queens, but maybe we can get those guests who want a king room upgraded to a queen or a suite. And some families, they're like, I don't care if we're down the hall from each other. It's not a far walk. I prefer the privacy because my baby needs to nap. So whatever is important to your family, whether that's being close together or whether that's just having the room type that makes the most sense for you, I can assist with. Our reservations team can certainly suggest what the best option will be.
Yeah, perfect. I agree. How far in advance would you say families should plan if they're looking to come to Lake Lawn?
I would recommend like 6 to 12 months. We have some families that decide last minute they want to come, and we can certainly do our best to accommodate. We have some families that book 2 years in advance. The benefit to booking early is that you know for a fact you're going to get the room types you want. Our availability is going to be better. The rates are going to be lower. And we have families that come every year, and they're booked for the following year before they even leave this year. So especially if you're planning to come in the weekend, if you're planning to come in the summertime, 12 months is really suggested. We have some great options for family reunions in our off season from November to April. There's some great activities that happen around that time. We have a lot of special events, buffets, cover bands that your family might enjoy. And because it's not as busy as the summertime, you can maybe plan around that 6-month mark. But just giving your family the notice that they need and giving Lake Lawn the ability to accommodate the rooms that you are wanting and the requests that you have. Booking 6 to 12 months is really important.
Yes, and definitely we've seen at the front desk too, when the date gets closer and people are trying to reserve last minute, things get booked up because, like you said, we do have guests and families that have been staying with us for years. And one of our favorite things to hear at the front desk is, we've been coming here for 20 years, 30 years. We've heard up to 80 years or more. We have 4 generations of families that come. We have people who've been married there, who had their honeymoon there, birthday celebrations every year there. It all just kind of depends. So they know the weekends to book. They know they want to come back. So like you said, before they're even walking out the door, they're coming up to rebook their next stay. So especially for newer families who are wanting to come and enjoy Lake Lawn, it would be good to plan in advance to make sure also that the room types that you want are available. A lot of our suites, we only have a limited amount. I know, for example, our 3-bathroom loft suites, we only have 4 in the whole property. So if that's something your family wants, you're going to want to book it as soon as possible, because 4 families book and they're gone and they're not available for anyone else and on those dates anyways. And closer to dates as well, the rates do tend to go up as business needs. Once the inventory goes down and there's fewer rooms to choose from, the prices can go up. As the arrival date comes closer, the prices can go up. And along with the suite options and loft options going down, a lot of the standard rooms are what's left. And those standard rooms aren't always what is located near the rest of your family or the groups that you're looking to be with, because a lot of our standard king rooms, which happens to be what's left, are in their own 2 buildings. There are boulder and timber hallways are only king rooms except for maybe 2 or 3 suites. So there's a high chance you'll be put in those hallways where people with lofts might be in our Shorewood or our Norwood buildings. And also closer to the arrival date, sometimes if the Lakewood building isn't taken by a group, that might be what's left as well. And then if you're booking last minute, your family has all the lofts in Norwood and the main lodge, and all that's left are the Lakewood standard rooms or the Lakewood lofts. You will be in that detached building, which, like we said, it is a bit of a walk, but it's 3 minutes max. It's definitely doable. You still can get to all of your family, but those preferences are harder to accommodate the closer you get. We also, being an older lodge and being here for years, do have accessible rooms, but we only have a handful of them, so we can only accommodate so many people that need those accessible rooms. And when they're calling, if they call a year in advance and they tell us those preferences, those could be booked up closer to arrival date as well. And we always want to accommodate what we can, but we only have what's left in the building, so it's hard to put people close by each other if the room types don't exist near each other.
You made me think of a story. I just recently was working with a family reunion to book their first reunion, and they told me their grandfather was the head chef at Lake Lawn in the 1940s.
Really?
I thought that was so special because we've been around since 1878. Like you said, generations have been coming. And so for them to have history at Lake Lawn that dates back 80 years, I thought was so cool.
It's wild. Well, there's so many families that have stories like that that are coming to stay. And I do think we've been doing a really good job, too, of honoring some of those families and getting their stories, and we post them on our Facebook page. So if you have any stories you want to share, definitely reach out and let us know. But yeah, we have so many different families of different sizes. We recently also had a princess tea party that was a huge hit, and it was so fun to work during and see all of the little princesses walking around and smiling. And we had a family come for that, and they had 4 generations of women come to the princess party event. And we have a lovely picture of great grandma, grandma, mother, and daughter all there to enjoy the Princess Tea Party. And they had a great time and had nothing but positive things to say about the event.
That's so special because not many people get to have that experience.
Yes, with all the generations too.
Yeah.
What would you say makes families come back year after year?
I think what I see most families do is they take the time to celebrate a lot of different things. I've worked with families and they buy a birthday cake and they celebrate everyone's birthday. Or if there was a new baby born or a recent retirement, while they're all together, they take the time to celebrate those things. Not every family lives in the same area. A lot of families are spread out all over the Midwest or all over the United States. And so it's a great way to get everyone together. I think back in the day, people would go to grandma's house every Sunday after church and spend time together as a family, and that's not always realistic anymore based on location or
And technology these days.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't get together as much anymore. We're stuck in our phones and the internet, and we're not taking the time for that human interaction and connection. So I do feel like, too, Lake Lawn is a nice place to get away from all of that and be in nature again by the water. There's the trees around. We have geese that come every year and ducks that like to come and lay eggs in our courtyard. So it's just kind of a world away from world, and you can kind of put the technology aside and enjoy time together.
Well, and we have those beautiful eagles that always live on the golf course every year.
Yes.
I think, life just gets so busy. And I think it's important for people to make time to maintain traditions or create new traditions with their families. And part of that can be getting together every year somewhere where you can really unplug. Lake Lawn is really close to the highway and like right between Madison, Milwaukee, and Chicago. So super easy to get to. But because we're surrounded by the trees and the golf course and the lake, it is so quiet and peaceful once you get here.
Yeah, it definitely feels once you pull on that main drive like it's just away from everything else. You get back towards the building and the golf course is in the front, and that green and trees and everything kind of blocks off the road. You have the lake behind you, and it just it feels like peace. I think it's a beautiful place to be with family, friends, loved ones, anybody. And I've seen a lot of people return over the years with stories of getting married at Lake Lawn 20 years ago, or their honeymoon was at Lake Lawn, so they make it a tradition every anniversary to come back. We've also had birthday celebrations that come back every year to celebrate grandpa's birthday or mom's birthday. They've been coming since they were kids. So it definitely is a good place to have those celebrations, because not only do we have larger rooms where you can have those celebrations in a room if your family fits, or like we've talked about the homes, they can have their celebration in the homes, and we also have meeting spaces for if you have even larger family, and it just keeps growing, I'm sure, as time goes on.
My family has been coming to Lake Lawn since my grandparents were kids.
Yeah.
And so it's just so special to be here. Lake Lawn really does feel like home. And I think there are a lot of families that feel like Lake Lawn, and bringing their tradition of the family reunion to Lake Lawn feels like a home away from home.
Yes, definitely. I started working at Lake Lawn just because I've been in the hotel industry for some time, and it was such a beautiful location, and I didn't even know until after starting there that my great-grandfather worked there as a bartender way back in the day. And I think it might have been at the bar downstairs, the little secret bar we don't use as much anymore, for a little pop quiz if anyone doesn't know the history of Lake Lawn. So that was something really cool that my grandmother told me once I started.
Oh my God, how special is that?
That's awesome.
Keep his memory alive.
Exactly. I love it.
That's awesome. Book your family reunion at Lake Lawn Resort. Feel free to give me a call at 262-725-9212. I look forward to working with you.
My name's Alyssa. If you have any questions about your stay, about rooms, or about an upcoming trip, feel free to give us a call, and our reservations team and front desk are more than happy to help.